Do you remember your first scene?
First scene was just a job scene.
Do you remember your first paycheck?
$100.
Oh, I take that for first paycheck.
That's what I was like. I would do it for free. So I'll take $100. I went to $400. And then about every 3 months, he would raise it $100. So I eventually, once that contract was up, I was making $800 a scene. And at that point, I was like, it was a career. I was like, I'm making more than a doctor or a lawyer would make in a day.
Yeah.
Just to come in.
All professions that you also are.
Yeah. Just to come in and have and be on set for 3 hours.
How did even someone break into the industry?
Yeah, I had no idea either. For me, the story is I went to high school with a girl who eventually got into after high school. And she would come to my college and party, and we ended up hooking up there. And she was like, you should come to LA and do you're perfect for it. At the time, I was 20.
Dude, what a compliment.
That's what I was
What an
thinking.
absolute beast of a compliment. Dude, you're so good, you should be.
I was 20 years old. I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, I'm going to finish school and have a career. You know, that was my thoughts. But fast forward 5 years, graduated college, had my career, and hated it. I was in construction management and basically worked, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
And now you're in destruction management.
And that was always in the back of my head. Her voice was like, you should come to LA and do. And after a year of just working my first job and hating it, I was like, okay, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do what I want to do. So I just quit that job. I was working in Las Vegas, quit that job, moved to LA, started pursuing. So I just started answering ads on, back then, I don't know if you guys have Craigslist.
Yeah, we know of it though.
Yeah, they had an adult section on Craigslist, which is gone now. And sort of other websites where people listed, adult work. So I started basically just working for free. There would be amateur directors that would hire a girl and they didn't want to pay a guy. So they're like, why would I pay a guy?
Do you remember your first paycheck?
$100.
Oh, I take that for first paycheck.
That's what I was like. I would do it for free. So I'll take $100. I went to $400. And then about every 3 months, he would raise it $100. So I eventually, once that contract was up, I was making $800 a scene. And at that point, I was like, it was a career. I was like, I'm making more than a doctor or a lawyer would make in a day.
Yeah.
Just to come in.
All professions that you also are.
Yeah. Just to come in and have and be on set for 3 hours.
Do you remember your first scene and what was that moment like on set?
Well, I remember going onto set and I hadn't chosen a name yet. The first time on set, you basically tell them what your stage name's going to be. And that's pretty much your name going forward.
Yeah.
So I hadn't chosen a name yet. I was kind of going back and forth between a couple of them.
Okay. Can you tell us what the options were?
Well, Johnny Sins is, everybody thinks my real name is Johnny Sins at this point, but it's obviously not. So I got that name from...
Because that would be too much of a coincidence.
Right.
Like you would be made for this if your name was Johnny
I
Sins.
didn't give you a choice.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies in college, I'm not going to say his name, but his nickname was Johnny Sins. His name was very similar to it. So everybody called him Johnny Sins. And the day I met him, I was like, that's an amazing...
Your friend must be really wondering where he went wrong.
He actually loves it.
Yeah.
That
I'm sure.
I use his nickname now. He's actually a lawyer now. So.
All right. So you were going to tell us about your first scene, so to say.
First scene was just a job scene. And very nervous, obviously. Not really know what to expect or what's going to happen. It was a very small set, so it made it very comfortable. I believe it was an all POV scenes too, so I wasn't really even in the scene.